Excavation underway for the 160-room luxury Cabrits Resort Kempinski at Douglas Bay. Dominica and the UK poised to beef up what Prime Minister Skerrit says are already strong ties, and PAHO praises Dominica for leading the fight against childhood obesity. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. Topping the news, local resources and manpower are being heavily utilized as excavation gets underway at Douglas Bay for the 160-room luxury hotel by Dubai-based real estate developer Range Developments. A Channel 5 News team visited the site where local truckers, including public works employees, have been engaged. Wed1stJune2k16News has that story.
Preparatory work at the site of the Cabrits Resort Kempinski is ongoing. Thursday actually marked the start of NH International's contract. NH International is a Trinidad-based company that has been contracted by Range Development to do the structural work for the next 15 months. This is the first project to be funded under the Citizenship by Investment program. A minimum of $220,000 will entitle investors Dominican citizenship.
Works have officially commenced today, but NH have been doing some early works trying to establish the site. So the cabins and the clearance, we got permission to start early. They started, I'm going to say, 2-3 weeks ago.
The luxury hotel will include a main building, a guest room block, and an apartment block.
So the intention is to complete the project during 2018. There's no formal commitment, but there is every effort being made to engage with the local contractors. And I know that NH haven't already engaged local contractors. The concrete supply is going to be from this company called PH Williams down in Rosso. So they're going to come up to Portsmouth and establish a plant. And I know NH are actively recruiting steel fixers and masons from within Dominica.
Range is saying that this hideaway resort will be among the best in its class in the Caribbean. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
Let's go now to the courts where Magistrate Ali Gill will on Monday, June 6, be giving his ruling as to whether the state had established a prima facie case against 4 police officers charged in the July 2014 murder of Joshua Etienne and so be committed to stand trial at the High Court. Those charged are Police Constables Martin Simon, Orlan Vigil, Devin Challenger, and Woman Police Corporal Gemma Lewis. Simon, Challenger, and Lewis are on remand while Vigil is on $150,000 bail. Lawyer for the accused police officers, Zeno Moore Dyer, argued that the state had not established a case against them, but State Attorney in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Shoma Dalrymple, argued that the state had met all the requirements needed to establish its case, and so urged the court to commit them to stand trial. Etienne was found dead in police cells in Portsmouth on July 4, 2014, one day after he was arrested for alleged ammunition possession. An autopsy on his body revealed serious injuries, including several broken bones and a punctured organ. More lead stories now. British assistance is making a significant impact in Dominica's security. Prime Minister Skerrit conveyed that message to Baroness Sandip Verma during her visit here this week, emphasizing that relations with the UK remain strong. Baroness Verma is the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State at the Department for International Development in the British government.
With the assistance we've received from the British government, that has enhanced our ability insofar as security is concerned tenfold. And while we welcome the announcements in terms of infrastructural development, we would urge the British government to keep this arrangement in place as long as possible. It has certainly helped tremendously, and we're very grateful for this. The experts that you have sent to the region have been exceptional, and the support which we've received from the High Commissioner and the staff of the High Commissioner in Barbados have also been exceptional. So I believe that the relationship between Dominica and the United Kingdom is very solid, and we are always more than prepared to work with the British government on bilateral issues, multilateral issues, We have suggested to the British government some ways in which we can enhance that coordination so that the relationship between the Caribbean community and the UK government, the UK people, can certainly be strengthened. But I want to welcome you. We're very happy that you're here. And we do hope that your mission here will be successful and will meet all the objectives as well.
Well, thank you, and thank you very much for your welcome. And I will convey back to the Prime Minister your appreciation of the work around security. The Prime Minister was very keen to make sure that not only were we fully re-engaged back with the Caribbean, but the Caribbean was fully re-engaged back with the UK. And I think it's really that two-way relationship that he's very keen to build on. We're actually going to go and see the road today, later on in the afternoon. But that's just part, I think, of the wider engagement that you rightly have alluded to. And I think part of it, Prime Minister, is about looking at the economic growth story that goes beyond the road. I mean, the road is something that we saw caused great trauma to your beautiful, if I may say, beautiful country. And we were very happy to be of assistance to that. But going beyond that, you obviously have a vision for your country. And along with that vision, we also have a vision for how we can support your growth agenda.
On to the health sector now, where Dominica is said to be leading in the region on combating obesity among youth. This as the Caribbean continues in its efforts to provide safe food options for the youth in the wake of rising cases of obesity. Here is Andrea Louis with that report.
Nutrition advisor with the Pan American Health Organization says other countries need to take a leaf from Dominica's book as the region is more aware of the impact of obesity on a youthful population. The nutrition advisor was speaking at a multi-sectoral consultation on the draft school nutrition policy for Dominica on Wednesday.
The fiscal policies, I think that is something Dominica has already started to address. And by that I'm referring to the tax on sugar-sweetened beverages. That's the type of fiscal policy that Dominica, in fact, is leading the way in the Caribbean. Barbados is the only other country that I think has passed a law on that as well. So those two countries, Dominica and Barbados, are leading the way in the Caribbean on that.
The nutrition advisor says individuals at all levels must get acquainted with the nutrition policy when it is finalized to ensure that the youth develop healthy eating habits and healthy lifestyles.
In addition to the Ministry of Education and the schools, of course, it has to be disseminated to all government ministries and departments. You want to get it out there so everybody knows what is going to happen in schools. You can involve influential organizations and persons so that they can help you spread the message. Parents and families, the community, and that also includes NGOs that are working in communities, students, and another group that we need to consider is the vendors.
The development of Dominica's school nutrition policy began in 2012. It is being jointly funded by PAHO, COPPA, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Education. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
In other news now, a consultant with the Office of Disaster Management says Dominica has learned significant lessons from Tropical Storm Erica and action has been taken to improve future response to similar weather systems. Wednesday marked the official start of the North Atlantic hurricane season. Former National Disaster Management Coordinator Cecil Chillingford says an alternative emergency center was top on their agenda.
In terms of activation of the Emergency Operations Center and ensuring that there's an alternate Emergency Operations Center because of the road conditions, they couldn't activate here. So they had to start at the Red Cross and then move on to the financial center. So what we're doing right now is ensuring that there's an alternate center that is already prepared. So it's not a matter of running and moving things around. So that will be already prepared.
The communication system throughout the island is also being improved to maintain access to all districts.
The telecommunications failed. maybe not 100%, but there were several areas that were without communications. I'm not sure that we can perfect that this year should something happen, God forbid, but we are looking into a more medium to long-term robust communication system that should the service providers fail, then we could use it as a backup, and it will be a two-way radio form of communications.
Training for select groups on how to respond during a natural disaster is also key for the ODM.
We certainly need the training in Emergency Operations Center management, because we got the sense that there were a lot of people really volunteering, and it was sort of the first time there wasn't a shift system put in place, a proper shift system, I should say. We're also looking in terms of having a national first response and search and rescue team, and they would be on standby whenever there is an event threatening. And as soon as the all clear is given, or if it's a situation where we need search and rescue, even during the event, they can move to the area.
While work continues on Dominica's infrastructure post the tropical storm, Shillingford says the rains have affected the pace of reconstruction.
The scarring is still there, and we have not really had any dry spells, prolonged dry spells since Tropical Storm Erica. And what you have is just the continued hemorrhaging of the same areas with all the rains that continue to fall since Erica. And what we would like maybe is for a long dry spell so that the areas can heal. And then they may be able to do better if we have some intense rains.
The Atlantic hurricane season officially ends on the 30th of November. You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the court orders a psychiatric evaluation before sentencing in a murder case. Thank you for staying with us. More court news now. Reginald Mann has been ordered to undergo a medical examination by a psychiatrist before he is sentenced. That's in keeping with the Court of Appeal decision that before sentencing someone on a charge of murder, that they be medically examined by a psychiatrist. Reginald Mann, a few weeks ago, pleaded guilty to the December 26, 2013 murder of Glenroy Lockhart. Mann has been in custody since 2013, and the court had set sentencing for May 27, 2016, but was adjourned to June 1, 2016. The court had also ordered a social inquiry. But on Wednesday, his lawyer Wayne Norrie pointed that ruling to the court and asked for an adjournment, which was not opposed by the prosecution. The report, when done, will be submitted to the Registrar of the High Court on or before June 21, 2016. Sentencing will take place on the 24th of June, 2016. In our next story, criticism over the way recent bomb threats were handled. Here's more. Emergency response officials say standard operating procedures were followed during the discovery of what police call suspicious packages at the government headquarters recently. Deputy Fire Chief Farley Revere says the country does not have the capacity to deal with situations arising from a bomb threat. Revere's comments come in light of criticism regarding the manner in which two incidents were handled here recently. Although the Deputy Chief confirmed that there is no fire official trained to defuse bombs in Dominica, he believes the public's perception of the situation is false.
There's a high level of ignorance going on around, and I do not think it is fair that people talk about things that they're not familiar about, they have no information on. The fire service will not go out there and endanger themselves. We're a professional group of guys who know exactly what we're about. And what the people saw were not raincoats. They were the gears utilized for protection of the safety persons in their duties as they go out there during hazardous situations. I do not think we have the capacity to deal with a bomb here. We've never had our guys go out there and train to defuse bombs no. If people think that's what it is, that's a wrong impression. But we have the capacity to deal with hazardous material.
Meanwhile, Fire Officer Richard Blanchard says standard operating procedures were followed during the operation.
What you saw actually was a hazmat crew step in and examine a concealed package after the police has deemed the package to be non-explosive. There were a few steps and measures taken by the police to reassure the fire department that the package was not explosive, because like my chief said, there is no one within the fire department capable of defusing bombs. And the subject of bombs is a very wide subject. It goes far beyond the time we could sit here and talk, okay? But what you saw was actually standard operating procedure. 3 hazmat techs coming dressed in hazmat suits and to examine a package that the contents we were not sure of the contents, which is standard operating procedure. The dress code for such a process could vary depending on the situation that is at hand. And in that situation, like I said, the police assured us that the package was not explosive. So all that was necessary is that a hazmat crew come in dressed appropriately to examine the package, and that's exactly what you saw.
According to Officer Blanchard, the highly criticized duct tape, which was used on the protective gear, was necessary.
The duct tape would form a protective seal. So if a blister agent were to come into contact with the suit, it would not be able to find its way into the suit. Now, duct tape is standard operating procedure on the international hazmat field. There's different types of tape, different color tape, but duct tape is standard operating procedure. If you had a good look at the picture, a few of the pictures that were going around, there was a rip on one of the hazmat tech suit. It happened because he crossed the railing. When he crossed the railing, the suit ripped. In a normal circumstance, it would be one of the team members' job to call for a steel and use the tape to actually patch that hole. So can you imagine that if we were to actually do that? See the amount of comments that followed, what happened?
And as ChildFund Caribbean prepares to phase out its operations here, the organization has vowed to spend its last few weeks helping individuals prepare for emergency events. 2 major workshops are slated for this month.
We're going to help train shelter managers in child protection in emergency settings. So how they stay focused with everything going on the needs and the rights of children during an emergency and after an emergency. So we're going to do that with the shelter managers and others who want to join. And late in June, about 28 to 30 of us, a mix between staff and community persons, are going to be trained in the CERT, where we can get certified for rescue and response efforts and so on during and post an emergency.
The institution's regional director says though ChildFund Caribbean is pulling out, children will continue to benefit from the organization's work.
And although we're leaving as an organization, I think we're leaving a lot behind, which will assure that the needs of children are attended in the future, and especially the federations which we help to form, which we built their capacity, which we trained, which we supported financially for many years. I think we'll continue to work and we'll continue to be there to speak on behalf of children and make sure that the needs and rights of children are continued to be met here in Dominica and also in St. Vincent.
The Minister for Health says ChildFund's presence will be missed.
It's sad to know that you're leaving, but I'm pretty sure that other organizations and then ChildFund themselves will continue having an impact. I know they've impacted a lot on a lot of the less fortunate among us, especially the kids. I can speak to a number of constituents of mine, kids. Okay, the ChildFund would have assisted having designated sponsors, etc. I mean, so it's really sad that you're leaving, but I'm pretty sure that sooner or later somebody will come in, and I'm sure that knowing you and your drive and your love for children, that you'll continue to do what you can to see how we can benefit from the organization.
Next on Flashback, see if you can identify this senior fisheries officer 21 years ago as he outlined the various components of the West Coast Fisheries Complex.
Welcome to another Flashback segment where we take you back into our archives at Mapping 2K4. We are taking you back in time to an important project which was launched way back then. Phase 2 of the Coastal Fisheries Project was launched on this date in 1995. The first phase of the project dealt with land reclamation, while Phase 2 dealt with the construction of buildings which to date services the facility.
The building will house office space, and provision for 6 computer terminals will be made to the office staff for entry of data and information. There will also be in this building a fish handling and marketing area with facilities for filleting, packaging of fish and primary processing. There will be a fish waste treatment facility, an incinerator, so that we have many people talking already about the smell that there will be and the unsightliness of fish. But this is being taken care of. There will be this facility for waste treatment of fish and an incinerator to handle any other material that is combustible. There will be ice provision and dispensing facilities provided at this facility. There will be chilling facilities, freezing and cold storage facilities for fish. There will also be a laboratory for biochemical analysis so that the water quality and the fish quality analysis can be done. And also from the information that we have, this lab will be very well equipped with some very sophisticated, high precision instruments and equipment.
It's true. It's all true. We did a thorough investigation into the facility and found out that a check could be made next to every promise made to outfit this facility. Conference? Check. Education and training? Check. Office space? Check. Fish handling and marketing? Check. Facility for packaging? Check. Check. Fish waste treatment facility? Checked. Incinerator? Check. Ice provision and dispensing? Again, check. Chilling of fish? Check. Lab for biochemical analysis of water and fish quality? Check. Check. Well-equipped and sophisticated high-precision equipment? Let's put another check right there. Seeing this footage of 1995 just made me realize how efficient this structure became after construction. Thanks for joining us on another flashback segment. I am Janik Delmar Samuel. See you next week.
Coming up, how confident is the national football team leading into the second round of the Scotiabank Caribbean Cup? That and more in your Sports Highlights with Kenny Williams.
In sports highlights, Nikita Lewis, daughter of the late Clifton Lewis, benefited from a $6,350 EC 5-year scholarship on Wednesday to assist with her school expenses after completing her grade 6 national assessment. The scholarship was made possible through the efforts of Gary and Angelica De Silvestri and friends who have assisted people affected by Tropical Storm Erica.
The Red Cross received the monies of $20,407 US through the International Red Cross, and thought in conjunction with the Dominican Olympic Committee, thought that they could cover a 5-year scholarship at the secondary school for Nikita Lewis.
Meantime, principal of the Dominica Grammar School, Alicia Jean-Jacques, says while the school is responsible for managing the funds, if Nikita is not selected, the money will still be made available to her.
Selection of students to the Dominica Grammar School is not done by the principal. So my first course of action would be to write to the Ministry of Education staff to request that Nikita be placed on the list, since she's has already gotten a scholarship and the Dominica Grammar School has her money. I'm not saying that if she chooses another school tomorrow that the money would not be moved from the Dominica Grammar School. That would happen.
Moving on to football, National Football coach Shane Marshall says while he would have preferred to have more practice sessions with the team, he believes they could have a good match on Saturday. His comments come ahead of the second round of the Scotiabank Caribbean Cup.
We haven't gotten sufficient training, honestly, you understand, but I still believe that we could, give a good account of ourselves. I still believe you guys could put up a good performance on Saturday in Guadeloupe.
He says Dominica's match against Martinique should be exciting, but the team can improve some more.
It will be exciting, it's like a rematch, as you say, and it still comes back again to training. We haven't had sufficient training, but see that is Martinique. Up to yesterday we did some training, based on what I saw in the last game against Martinique. We did some training yesterday, so hopefully, you know, we can keep up and give a better account of ourselves.
The team leaves for Guadeloupe on Thursday. Meantime, Digicel Newtown Juvenile Academy Harlem United and Bath Estate Football Club will clash in football action at the Winter Park Sports Stadium on Saturday. Starting time is 5 p.m. Meantime, in yesterday's games, Convent High School edged out Wesley High School 2-1. Kadisha James and Kelmarie Mann scored for Convent, with Jovina David scoring for Wesley High. In the other match, Dominica Grammar School recorded similar results as they defeated Isaiah Thomas Secondary 2-1. Janaya Bell and Ariel Roger netted for DGS, while Micheline Morgan scored for ITSS. In cricket, the point standing after 2 rounds of the Windward Islands 2-day cricket tournament, St. Lucia in the lead with 12 points, Dominica and Grenada 9 and St. Vincent 6. Tyrone Theophile leads in batting with 229 runs, while Jelani Robinson is second on 214. And Liam Sebastian has taken the most wickets. That's all the sports for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next time.
And it looks like the hurricane season is opening with some scattered showers and possibly isolated thunderstorms. Your weather report is next.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janelle McPherson. Infrared satellite imagery today showed multi-layered clouds across the eastern Caribbean. An area of deep convection can be seen across the Trinidad area associated with a tropical wave. Visible satellite imagery showed cloudy skies across Dominica today. Radar imagery indicated scattered showers across the central and southern portion of the island chain. The weather for tonight: cloudy, hazy and breezy with scattered showers. Similar conditions are expected tomorrow with scattered showers mainly during the morning period. Seas tomorrow: moderate to rough in open water with waves peaking up to 8 feet. A small craft warning is in effect. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, a relative improvement is expected with breezy conditions maintained. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, apart from thunderstorm activity across the Trinidad area, partly cloudy to cloudy skies and scattered showers can be expected. On the international cities forecast, thunderstorm activity in Miami and Caracas, overcast conditions in London, generally fair weather conditions in New York and Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:33 a.m. and sunset at 6:33 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again: excavation underway for the 160-room luxury Cabrits Resort Kempinski at Douglas Bay. Dominica and the UK poised to beef up what Prime Minister Skerrit says are already strong ties, and PAHO praises Dominica for leading the fight against childhood obesity. Feel free to contact us at news@mapin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. To our viewers around the world, thanks for watching.